Alright, we are here installing these inner fender flares, and I've got mixed review on this one. I kind of like some aspects of this, but I kind of dislike some others. It's a nice clean look. I like that. No branding. Definitely love that. And they're aluminum. All great things as far as I'm concerned. Now, there are some things I kind of am not too thrilled with. First off, is this hardware? These should have been button heads. These are M5s, and ideally M6 button heads would have been so much better. Here's the reason. If I can get a nice clean shot of that. There is so much of a gap there, which means that head, yeah, I can understand why some people are basically, if you really tighten this up, you're shoving that head right on through that soft aluminum. If this manufacturer is going to keep this, these bolts include some washers, or just, matter of fact, go out and get yourself some washers, because if you're going to use this type of bolt, you have to have them. If you went to an M6 button head, it'd be a cleaner, sleeker look, and then you wouldn't have to worry about the washers. Next thing is, what in the world is this for? It is not mentioned in the instructions anywhere, and basically you kind of have to figure it out. And what happens is that this actually bolts right there. Oh, sorry about that. Bolts right there on the inside. I don't see a reason why that should be there. To reinforce that panel, not getting it. So this is mocked in here, a little loose, but you really are going to have to finesse with getting, you're going to have to bend it to basically get that bolt to line up, and then you're going to have to drill and bolt that. And if you move this one, it's going to move that. So basically start at the top, work your way down. You're going to have to basically finesse this into place. I'd really recommend riv nuts right here, but do what you will. Having said that, there are some things I don't like this gap up at the top. Yes, if this is sucked up, it gets better. But this is the part that I really don't like. You do not want mud, rocks, and everything else getting in between your fender and your door panel, because that's just going to get caked in with mud. And that's the biggest drawback I see to this design. Now, for the price, is it going to be a deal killer for me? No, I'm just going to basically get a piece of rubber or another sheet of aluminum or something, and basically make it to where nothing can get in there. So that's pretty much it.
Okay, so it is a cheap kit. I expected some bullshit with it, right? So here's the problems that I ran into. You have to use the screws that from the OEM, the ones you remove, no big deal. I found them, thank God I kept them. But in the instructions, it gives you these, right? That's all I got. In the instructions, it shows to put the washer, the nut with the washer in the front and this in the back. But that falls through the hole, so it has to be in the front, no problem. But when you tighten it, it feels like it's cutting into that little tiny hole. You know, it should have a washer here, so maybe I'll go to Home Depot and get a washer for these, because it feels like it can eat up through the little hole and fall in eventually if I tighten it too much. Then you have to tighten, you have to tap your own, you have to make a hole here, and you have to make a hole here. right? There's no hole. There's no original hole there. So you have to tap into it. You have to get some tapping screws. They don't give you anything for that. They don't supply it, which is fine. Yeah, you have to put that in. Otherwise, you gotta make sure everything is tight. You don't want that banging around. And the other thing is, like I said, when you tighten it, it feels like it can go through that little hole. So it needs a washer. And to hold the nut on the inside, I just used needle nose pliers to hold the nut while I screwed it. So it's kind of like a two-man job, but I did it on my own. Now I just got to figure out how I'm going to drill that hole and how I'm going to drill this hole.